You know exactly what you need to do. The laptop is open, the assignment is waiting, the deadline is approaching. Yet you stay stuck on the couch, endlessly swiping through a glowing screen in a dark room. Your brain immediately starts feeding you rationalizations to delay starting. You tell yourself you'll start in exactly 5 minutes, or you lean on the classic lie that you work better under pressure anyway. But as the hours slip by, those excuses fade. What replaces them is heavy, crushing guilt, and a quiet, creeping fear that you are actively wasting your own potential. Feeling guilty about this paralysis is a waste of energy. You aren't failing because you lack discipline. This inability to move is rooted in your biology. Your brain is functioning exactly as it was designed to. The problem is that the modern digital environment has weaponized your own biology against you. Every time you choose an easy digital distraction over a difficult task, you are physically rewiring your neural pathways. You are training your brain to actively reject hard work. Recognizing this environmental hack moves the problem out of the realm of character and into the realm of biology, which makes a physical intervention possible. To see how to fix it, we have to look at dopamine. Most people think of dopamine as a pleasure chemical, but it is actually the molecule of motivation. Its biological purpose is to drive effort. This graph illustrates the evolutionary baseline for your brain. Notice the high horizontal line, the friction threshold. For our ancestors, surviving meant hunting for food or building shelter. They had to endure intense physical and mental friction to cross that line and trigger a chemical reward. When that intense effort finally crosses the friction threshold, the brain releases a bright spike of dopamine. This evolutionary baseline guaranteed that survival-critical, high-effort tasks remained neurologically rewarding to repeat. But here is the fatal vulnerability in our wiring. A brain perfectly calibrated for high friction is completely defenseless against a modern environment that hands out rewards without requiring a single ounce of effort. Look at what happens to the graph when we introduce modern technology. Endless scrolling and streaming act as supernormal stimuli. The friction threshold drops to 0, and those dopamine spikes shoot up exponentially, breaking right past the top of the chart. Your brain cannot handle this constant overload, so it performs something called baseline adaptation. It drastically raises its tolerance, expecting this massive, effortless chemical reward as your daily new normal. Now, look at the bottom of the chart. Normal, necessary tasks like studying or reading barely register. They completely fail to reach this newly elevated baseline. When a task fails to meet your brain's new chemical expectation, your nervous system doesn't just register the task as boring, it interprets the lack of stimulation as physically painful to endure. Modern digital comfort functions as a neurochemical trap, actively draining the biological drive required to pursue your long-term goals. You cannot out-willpower a severe neurochemical deficit. Relying on sheer discipline to force yourself to work is mathematically impossible when your baseline is this skewed. To fix the hardware, you have to starve the addiction. This is the logic behind a dopamine detox, the intentional, strict restriction of daily artificial stimulation. Expect a period of profound and restless boredom to set in immediately. You have to sit with that discomfort. Enduring this phase of extreme boredom provides the exact friction required to force your brain's dopamine baseline back down to its natural levels. You can start forcing this reset today. The first protocol is to embrace silence. Take a daily walk outside without music or podcasts. Let your brain idle so it can process its looping thoughts. Next, fix your workspace. Implement strict 90-minute work blocks with only a single browser tab open. Killing multitasking forces your brain to tolerate the friction of single tasking. Finally, introduce a digital fast in the evening. Swap your glowing screens for physical books and block blue light to protect your sleep architecture. As your baseline drops, the paralysis lifts, your focus returns, and those normal, everyday tasks that used to feel agonizing slowly become naturally engaging again. Discarding this artificial comfort completely resets your biological hardware, allowing your true potential to become your brain's default state.